right, so the other thing we've got to do is we know we have an air leak. So I don't want to put this back together yet. It scared me for a second. Come on, get off of there. It's because I need to get down here to the carbon intake. I'll take this out of my way. We can slide our carb out of the way. Set that over there. In order to get this intake boot out of here, we've literally got to, if I remember right, literally got to remove the motor from the saw. Because what they do is they use a plastic band to clamp the intake boot into place. And over time, that starts to relax and not apply enough pressure around that intake boot onto the intake of the motor. And that creates an air leak over time. And that is what has happened here. And that's why we are taking this apart. This is the main complaint. That main complaint has led up to other things such as the oil hose. Sometimes that kind of stuff happens when you're working on something, but you just have to explain that to the customer so that he understands what's going on and that you're not just making crap up to try and get more money out of them. And there's people out there that do that, and shame on them. You know who you are. So yes, you got to take the caps off to get the body here, or the side cover here, to come off. And yay, I get to use my new magnet. Alright, so we have that out of the way, and we'll clean that up before we put it back on. But it goes with the territory. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to remove more stuff than you need to, or you hope to anyway, and just to get to certain things. Alright, so what I have to get to, so you guys can see that. Alright, so right back in there, you see that white band? That's the part I got to change out. And I think I stuck it in the box. And I have this clamp that came off of another saw somewhere or another. And we'll see if that'll fit on there, and if it does, we'll clamp that into place. If not, what I have also done in the past, and it works really well, is either way I do it, whether it's going to be this clamp or a heavy zip tie, they both work, and they both work fine. Either way I do it, I always back that up with a little bit of black RTV silicone. It's just for extra assurance. So, got this out of the way, got there, got that. That can stay. I'm going to have to remove this and disconnect that. One can go one way, the other's got to go the other way. Don't be rude. There we go. Alright, so that's that way, and this is that way. We're good. So right here is a little plastic ring inside that intake boot. Take your pinky and pull that out of there. Alright? Do not lose it. Because you will need to put that back. Alright, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the muffler so there'll be that much less that's not in my way. Boy, I'd love to open that up. And these are the bolts, you can just take them right out, because if you don't, they're just going to fall out. And you'll be chasing them down. And more screws. Dish. All right. So now what you have to do is push this intake boot through the plastic housing here as you're removing the cylinder. So let's see if we can get it to pop free first. Yep, there we are. We'll run that piston down, and it is. Crap, never mind. Forgot one thing. I'm gonna get the clutch off. And the one thing I do like about Stihl, and I wish everybody did it, is they give you basically a nut to take their clutches off with. And I wish everybody did that. But not everybody does. There we go. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. Springs look good. There's our backing plate. And there's our pump drive back here. Gotta get that out of your way. And there's our pump gear is right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's right there. Now everything is pretty loose. Hopefully we get this boot start to push through there. And this boot's tough, so don't be afraid to use something to help get it pushed through, such as a screwdriver or something like that. These boots are not wimpy. They're not indestructible, but they're not wimpy. Oh, nope, I was wrong. It's been a while since I've taken one of these apart, but come on now. Oh, I'll show you in a minute. There we go. So it's got its own base. It's got its own base. That's good. But now we have access to this. and the rubber boot. And that's all they use to hold these rubber boots on. That's it. Now I do wish that these rubber boots were a little bit longer here, and that the intake was a little bit longer to match that, because to me that's just barely enough to do the job. I'm thinking we'll clean all that up. For one, it eliminates getting other stuff dirty. Like, you don't want none of that stuff getting into the intake or the exhaust or anything like that. And two, you're not giving it back to the customer nasty. You're going this far, you might as well blow that bit of it out too. There we go. All nice and sort of clean. Okay. We'll come over here to the intake side. I'm hoping you're all seeing this pretty good. Looks like you are. I got you at a different angle. I got you on a suction cup. And that suction cup is on one of these plates here. And I got that magnet stuck to the bottom of a shelf. So it's a little different view. All right. So I'm going to clean this up good. I'm going to clean up around here good. I'm going to apply a tad bit of RTV. Don't get crazy with it. Do not apply it to the face here, because you don't want any of that getting down into your pulse line. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it to the outside edge here. I'm not going to apply it to the inside edge here, because if I apply it to here, well, as I push it onto there, it's going to scrape it and smash it all up into here and all up around this intake. And when you look down through there, you'll see bits and pieces of that sticking through there, and then it can get sucked in. If you do it to the outside of here, it'll scrape it back to the fins. No big deal. It's not going to hurt a thing then. All right. I've gotten carburetors before that people had used RTV on and never let it cure it or anything, and then fired it up and it sucked a long string of RTV up through a port. Yeah, he got lucky. I was able to use some carb cleaner, and it actually came out. If it didn't, he'd have to buy a new carburetor. But so we're going to try this out, and I think it'll be fine. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work perfectly. See that? And I don't know where this clamp came off of. Probably an older, larger saw, probably be my guess. But I need to get me a handful of these clamps, and just to have them on hand, because they'll fit multiple things. All right, so we're going to take our cleaner here. We're going to clean this up, and I'll probably clean my hands up a bit. Use some of this black RTV, and we're going to seal things up and clamp it back down with a real clamp. You can buy these, but it's just going to happen in a few more years. All the heat cycles and stuff like that. So your best bet is to find you one of these, and it came off of a chainsaw somewhere, I don't know what, and use that. Be your best bet. That should be good. And you got to be careful with some of your sprays. They will damage rubber pieces, especially if they have like acetone or something in it like that. All right, let's see if it's dried up or not. Shouldn't be. I think I've showed you this trick before. And there we go. Keep in mind, guys, that less is more. Just put a thin light coat on that outer edge. You can put a little bit on the face, but like I said, thin light coat. You almost want to be able to read through it. I pulled motors apart before. I found bits and pieces of RTV down in the oil base. And that's because somebody used way too much. All right, so there's that. A little bit of dielectric grease. Put that in the top of your cap a little bit. You don't need a whole heck of a lot. Screw your cap back onto your RTV and you're good to go until next time. All right, make sure you put your boot back on the right way, so that little stem right there, that little rubber stem, has to insert down into that hole. Alright, that's on there, and I can look through here and I do not see any RTV squishing out anywhere on the inside, and just the tiniest bit around the outside. No big deal. You can't get sucked up into the intake or anything like that from the outside. Now, I believe I want this on the top so that I can get in there with a screwdriver and tighten it up. This thing is just barely going to do what I need it to do. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to let that cure on there. We'll let that sit like that for a couple hours or so. I'll bring you guys back. In the meantime, I'll get this all cleaned up so that it's ready to go back together, and we'll get that clamp on. If that clamp's not large enough, which I got a feeling it might not be, yeah, I'm down to like the last couple threads, and it doesn't really seem to want to go on there quite yet. So, but this is the type of clamp you want, though. But you would need one a little bit bigger than this. So I'm going to have to use the tie strap after everything cures up. All right, I use the black ones. They last a long time. They don't get brittle like the white ones do in the sunlight, in the cold, or anything like that. These last a lot better. I don't like the white ones, but that'll work just fine. I've done it in the past many times. Works great. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. Need to let this cure up, and then I'll bring you guys back and we'll finish this thing up and get it out of here. Hopefully you liked the content. If so, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, send me some comments, let me know what you think. Be kind and help people when you can.